Hey, Celestina, Sally. Okay, I got your emails. I'm going to answer them here. Okay. Yeah, it's nice here. It's not over hot, but it's nice here. Yeah, you can ask all the questions you want about the paranormal. I'll try to answer them the best I can. The EVP from the Comer's house was very clear, but I didn't have my camera set to for night time, okay, and that was my mistake. I guess it was because I was excited about being there. EVP is electronic voice phenomenon. Okay, you can get it through different ways. Either you can get it through, video, or you can get it through, like Deb was using a ghost radio, the frequencies of the sound where the spirit can come through. You asked me what it felt like whenever I was shoved. It was a soft shove. It wasn't a shove like we would give a human, like out of anger. It was a soft shove, but me being the weakest, I was pushed backwards this way. Then all of a sudden I was pushed forward this way over a log. And then I told them in my video that I was shoved. And then shortly after that, Kim and Dustin, come off and said about them being shoved too. And that's the first time I was attacked physically on a hunt. Don't feel bad that you haven't been on a ghost hunt. EVPs are very fun to get. It's like being on a Christmas morning and you're listening through your videotapes, then all of a sudden you hear something. Then you keep playing it over and playing it over, make sure that's authentic. And of course, I have a program, Deb has a program that does just voice phenomenon. But in order to hear it with your regular ears, I suggest you to have headsets. An old cemetery is a good place to go. You don't need to get it. I would just wait until we come, because that way we'll have a lot more fun and people can think we're crazy. But coming close to death the way I have the last 6 months, almost dying 3 times, you look at death a little bit different than what you do normally. And I can explain all that, what it feels like and so forth like that. I didn't know I was so close to death is what I was told by the night nurse in ICU. I don't care anymore what people think. If they think you're weird, you're weird. It's a hobby. I enjoy it. It's part of who I am, and it does, attract attention. But if you're quiet about it, no one knows. So it's your own little secret, you might say. Older houses are good, but a lot of times, because they're older doesn't necessarily mean that they're haunted. When I talked to you on the phone, your place, it's the house, the location, it's the ground. That's what I was picking up as I was talking to you. So it's not nothing you have done. It's not nothing anybody has done. It's the area. There was Native Americans there. There was a lot of bloodshed there. And that is and I bet you get to looking into your property, and I bet you there's a gravesite nearby. So it's the house. It's not nothing you have done. It isn't anything anybody's done. It's the house. It's the location. It's the property. And I have a feeling that, being in Texas, being a lot of bloodshed and everything that went on down there, with unions and everything, yeah, you're probably, especially the area where you were telling me, you do have one group that does investigate hunts. Okay, big deal. You have, I don't know what they become, but your culture though is very, very superstitious. My grandson is part Mexican, and they're afraid of me. Okay, my dad. Okay. Sally must be American for Celestina. Celestina is a pretty name. That you said that I'm an old soul. Yeah, you are. Well, sometimes I think so. There is a legend of an old gypsy woman that used to lure old rich men in Spain with her hexes and spells, black magic, and they would fall in love with her daughter. This is so true. I read a book called La Chestina. It is very intriguing. Okay, northern Mexico, they always say people should never mess with me. La Chestina. Obviously, this old gypsy has a reputation. I've never heard of her. They're just being funny, but sometimes I feel that they are calling me a witch. Or... Okay, I'm glad you look good for my videos. I like to do this because this is how people learn. I enjoy it, and I like doing the videos, especially if you have a lot of questions. It's a lot easier for me to answer, because with me writing, typing, and all that, the stroke left me with a little bit of a handicap. But you have a very magical name. Celestina is very Spanish and Mexican, and it's a very, very pretty name. But that was the first time I was ever attacked, was in a home. I was attacked in my mother-in-law's place. I was actually burned on the wrist, but that was a ill-mannered thing. Your culture is very superstitious. Somehow, some way, they know who I am or what I am, and it scares them. Of course, my totem is the owl, which is the wisdom of darkness, and wise owl. Okay, so that should tell you something right there. But I'm not weird or anything. It's just that this is a hobby, and this is the way it is, and keep the questions coming because I like sharing them. But when I got shoved, it wasn't a hard shove. It was one like that, but it was enough to pull me back. Now the other guys, when they got shoved, I imagine it was pretty hard because it don't take much to shove me. Okay, especially when I'm uncoordinated with the stroke and everything. People keep you up to date. I had another stroke. I spent a couple days in the hospital. I'm walking a little bit more differently than what I was, but I'm doing fine. But this is the first video I've made in such a long time, and I'm glad that Sally had asked me some questions because it intrigues her, and I like to see people interested because, excuse me, this is how you learn. This is how you learn, especially when you're on a hunt and out of the clear blue sky you get shoved. You know, you have a husband hollering at you because you're not going this way or doing this and this and that, and it wasn't that, it was pushing me, and I was trying to tell him I was being shoved. And but anyway, I'm in the process of writing my magical spell book, which is going to be Double Double Toil and Trouble is going to be the name, and that is the title of a play that Shakespeare had done, and so it's going to be rather cute. I'd already made 2 up for my friends, but the other one's going to be much thicker. But I've been working on that, having a lot of trouble with my system. I don't know if it needs a new hard drive or what. But anyway, I'm going to cut it short now so I can get this up for her and hope to hear from, from replies. But, we'll take you out to a cemetery and show you a good time. So don't worry about what other people are saying. I know from firsthand that stuff exists and it's real, and a lot of people claim it's not good to mess with the paranormal, and it's not. It can be very, very dangerous, as I've spoken before, but you got to go about doing it right, and if you don't do it right, then you can get in a world of hurt. So okay, Sally, talk to you later.